Hey, what's up guys? Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center again today. We're going to talk about a topic that doesn't get mentioned that often by reptilian educators, and that's what is a reptile? You know, a lot of us in education, we tend to overlook and just go off the theory that most people know what a reptile is. And so, of course, it's simple explanations, but today in this episode, we're actually going to go over just kind of the simplistic version of what is a reptile. Now, before we get into that, right down in that corner over there is our subscriber button. Make sure you hit that. And for those that have, we appreciate you following along week after week after week. Now, let's get right into this. So exactly what is a reptile? Well, obviously a reptile is a type of animal, but in the class of Reptilia. In the scientific order, it's called the class, and the class is called the Reptilia or reptilian species. Now, a reptile is a cold-blooded or ectothermic, meaning cold-blooded. It's a cold-blooded animal, also meaning it needs to go to the sun to basically warm up, or if it's too hot, it needs to go to a cooler area to cool down. It cannot thermoregulate its body temperature on its own as we can and as other mammals and birds can. So that's considered cold-blooded, and of course a reptile is cold-blooded. Now, what is another thing that makes a reptile? Reptiles also have dry, generally speaking, dry, hard scales, or a hard armor outer plating or coating on their body. That's their protective layer. It's sometimes a little bit more smooth in the case of like leopard geckos, crested geckos, and it can be much, much harder in things like your crocodilian, in your mastics. Even bearded dragons will have some of the harder, bumpier outer plating, and that's meant to be a protective layer. You can see a different style of that scaling in iguanas versus the same style of scale in snakes. The totally different types of scales or armor plating. Now, the different types of reptiles are turtles, tortoises, crocodilian, snakes, and lizards. And each one of these types of animals will have a different type of armor plating. Makes them unique to themselves, different colors as well. Now, another interesting fact about the classification of Reptilia is your reptiles are primarily egg layers. However, there are quite a few that do give live birth. As a matter of fact, inside of the reptilian species, there can be all three. You can have egg layers, you can have types of animals that produce eggs inside, they hatch out, and then you have your true live birthers. So we actually have all three classifications within inside of the reptilian species. Also within inside the reptiles, you can have all three classifications of insectivores, herbivores, and carnivores, to include the omnivores, which would eat both plant and animal or bug. There are animals like the iguanas, who are almost strictly herbivorous, just like the sulcata tortoise. And then you have other ones, such as your bearded dragons and box turtles, that are quite a bit more omnivorous. And they will even eat meat, especially with the box turtles. They'll eat meat product as well. And then there's snakes that take things like whole prey items, along with like your crocodilian. So this is what is a reptile? And hopefully this has been just a great little introduction into exactly what a reptile is. First off, it is a hard-scaled animal, generally speaking, hard-scaled animal that is in the classification of Reptilia, that is also a cold-blooded animal. Cannot regulate its own body temperature. Now, hopefully this has been helpful, and this is just a short, fun little thing on exactly what is a reptile. We appreciate you following along week after week after week. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the bell for notification. Feel free to leave a comment. And for all those that write us in asking for more videos and more videos and more topics, we appreciate you doing that, and we're trying to get to them as fast as we can. Feel free to write us in anytime you so choose, and let us know of other things you want us to film about. We'll either see you here at the zoo, or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.